So at this point, what I want to do is to, here let me show you, is to cut the hull out of this jig. Okay, it's all been built up, it's been sanded, shaped, and ready to go. But before I cut the hull from this jig, what I want to do is I want to put on the main wales, which go from bow all the way here to the stern, and that's going to stabilize the framing of this hull. So let's now go over to the computer because I got to show you what we got to do next. Okay, over here at the computer we have all the plans drawn for the General Hunter. Right down here, this is the framing plan, the deck layout, and all of the frames. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to go over here to this frame. Okay, now you can see these lines. You know, top of whale and deck clamp. We got the cap rail, we got the railing, and here's our jig right up here. So now what I need to do is I need the top of the whale line right there. Okay, now I'm going to take it and I'm going to measure up from this line, and I want to go up to the bottom of the jig right there. Okay, and take that measurement. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to take the next line, which is the cap rail, okay, and measure it up right here to the jig line. And I'm going to do that with the top of the wales, the cap rail, and the railing. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to go every other frame. This is the midship frame right here. Then here's frame 1. I'm going to skip that one and I'm going to do frame 2. So what I will do now is I'm going to take all of these measurements and I'm just going to jot them down on a piece of paper. Then once I got these measurements, then the next thing I'm going to do is go back to the model. Okay, back here at the workbench, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all those measurements I made and I'm going to set my calipers and lock it. Okay, now let me zoom in here and show you what I'm going to do. Zoomed in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my calipers down on my jig like so, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to mark right here the height of my wales, the height of my and the height of my cap rails, and I'm going to do that every other frame on down the hull. Okay, here's what I did with the General Hunter. The first thing was I cut away the jig. It came all the way out to here. It had maybe an inch and a half of jig right here, so I cut it way down so you can see here. And I did that so I could take these clamps and reach down to catch these whales right here. Okay, so now the whales, what I did was I soaked them in water and then I steam bent them on the stovepipe of my wood burning stove. And okay, we're going to steam a couple planks here. These have been soaking for about 20 minutes and this pipe is really hot. So listen to it bend. You can hear the steam. See how that bends? Like so. Okay, now I'm going to take it and bend it over here. See, I could bend it right around this pipe. It's dried it off here now, so I'm going to wet it again. And I'm going to do the next one. Here we go. Boy, this is hot. Whew. See, it takes steam to bend these, not just soaking in water. Okay, there's the bend. Alright. I got them very pliable, so when they were pliable, I bent them around the bow. Okay, like so. So now when we take them off, like this, see, they maintain the curved shape. So now we'll take all of these off of here, like this. Okay, now we can go back and glue them in place. Okay, once they've been bent. Okay, see how they hold their shape? Alright, and now to start the whale, all we do now is we put it down into that little corner we made. And this edge right here, okay, well that's cut on an angle. Okay, like so. It's cut in. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm creating a dovetail joint. So when this thing goes down into there, that upper lip catches it and really almost clamps it in place. So that's the trick about putting on these whales and hull planking in general. It's being able to make little ways to clamp everything, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and glue this first whale in. So once I've got it here, so what I'm going to do is zoom out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to just hold it in place and aim for my first mark about 4 frames back. And like so, hit my mark. And then go ahead and clamp here with a big 6-inch clamp, like so. Okay, now from here on back, it's just a matter of following your marks and clamping it down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, right now I am putting on the whales right here, and I started them by putting this little piece of scrap wood, and I wedged a whale right here, right between the hull and this little scrap piece of wood. So now I could take this and just bend it along here, like so. And this is just a matter of using a lot of clamps to clamp this along here, like so. And that's why I cut my jig along here, so I can get these clamps around the top. So it's just a matter now of going right down the whales like so and putting these clamps on. Okay, now here you can see it's slightly spread apart. See that little gap right there? Well, I'm going to use smaller clamps, like these little things right here, and I'm going to clamp it this way. Okay, and that's going to hold them tight together. So that's it. I'm just going to go right down the hull, clamping these in there, just like this. Okay, now when I get to the stern, you can see this is going to take quite a bend and a twist. Okay, so now I'm going to have to clamp it from this direction, like this. Okay, that's it. Now I'm just going to set and let this dry.